Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, Jamie Foxx released his Netflix special. He was talking about his family, his sister, his daughter, how they really held him down during his time of need whenever he was going through that issue. He said that he did experience a stroke, unfortunately, and it was allegedly due to whenever he was on the set of whatever movie he was working on last, whatever project it was, he asked somebody for an Advil, if I'm not mistaken, because he had a headache. Someone who he thought he could trust, who he knew, handed him what he thought was an Advil. And make no mistake, there are people who know how to make drugs that's not supposed to be in your system look like over the counters, if you will. Someone who he thought he could trust, he asked for this Advil. They gave it to him allegedly. Y'all know I have to say allegedly. And then he was out of there for some time, allegedly in a coma after having a stroke. Thank God he survived. There are some people that don't believe that it's him at this point with all the stuff that these celebrities have been doing that have been proven. I wouldn't be surprised, quite frankly. Again, I thought it was very nice of him to talk about his sister the way that he did, acknowledging her and his daughter, how they looked out for him. Now, something that I really thought was interesting that he mentioned whenever he fell ill and he was going through all of this, whenever he was out of it, so to speak, he was saying he saw a tunnel. And he was talking about how he thought he saw the devil at the end of that tunnel. That essentially he was saying that P. Devil Combs was the devil and he thought he saw the devil unctioning him, if you will, to come with him. And then, he woke up or he came out of the dream or whatever it was. There were some people saying, oh, that was the devil fighting for his soul. Now, some of these people, for some reason, want to sit up and act like Jamie has been a Christian, has been some kind of upstanding man of society, that he's been like a priest or something like that. Y'all do realize that Jamie Foxx is not saved, right? And before anybody says, oh, you're judging, you don't know him like that, know them by their fruit. I can look at his lifestyle and tell he's not trying to represent God in any way, form, or fashion. Now, after all of this, maybe that will change. I said maybe, because even after stuff like this, there are people who will refuse to change their lifestyles for the better. So it's not surprising to me that he felt that way, that he felt like the devil may have been trying to get him to come downstairs, if you will. The best thing he can do is just get his life together. That's literally all he has to do. Once again, him saying, oh, I thought I was going to the wrong place because the tunnel was hot, was his admission that he was questioning where his soul was going at that point. People can sit up and act like they like him so much as a comedian, singer, actor that they don't want to acknowledge the truth of what he was saying, but I am not one of those people. But again, what I thought was noteworthy is him saying there was a tunnel. And for some reason, my mind went back to those alleged tunnels that they were talking about, where they affix the children underground, if you will. That's where my mind went to whenever he mentioned that detail. I'm not sure why, but people do need to redirect their minds. As Allie Carter said, y'all are getting distracted by all these other things. Y'all need to be concerned about where the children who are still going through these things, y'all know I had to say allegedly, where those children are, what has become of them. And then too, because he mentioned P. Diddy, y'all know all the stuff surrounding him in that. It just was it sounded like he was almost dropping hints while also telling the story. I could be wrong. But like I said, that's where my mind went whenever he was telling that story, whenever he was recounting his experience. Now, another thing I wanted to mention, I don't know why people are sitting and acting like Jamie had absolutely nothing to do with this. Like, the way people will exonerate these celebrities is really shocking to me. It's befuddling. It's disturbing. And people keep, I know people are going to say, what are you talking about? He had nothing to do with this. Then why in the world do you think he was targeted? That's what I need people to ask. I need people to ask themselves that question because people are acting real ignorant and it's real annoying to me. Didn't Jamie Foxx himself make a video back in the day talking about how he wasn't actually even invited to the P. Diddy parties, but the reason why he got in was because he was recording what was going on? He said out of his own mouth, y'all know I had to say allegedly, that he was recording the things that's going on. For all those people who keep trying to make it seem like, oh, he left before all the bad stuff happened. You don't record the non-bad stuff. That's not what people bring out cameras for. They record the shady stuff, the bad stuff, the perverse stuff, the stuff that's going to send people to prison. He was saying a lot about that stuff. People were circulating those videos, and there was even somebody insinuating that he might have said a little too much, and that may have been why he was targeted to begin with. So once again, ask yourselves, Why in the world would he think, because that's what everybody was alleging, that P. Diddy would target him? Because that's what people were saying. They felt like it was P. Diddy. People were alleging, y'all know I have to say allegedly, that they felt like P. Diddy was the one targeting him. Wasn't his family the one who said, his daughter allegedly the one who said that they felt like it was P. Diddy, that they were the ones who went and reported him to the federal authorities after what happened to him? So again, ask yourselves why, because he's not just going to risk all of that, doing all of that for no reason. Can we put two and two together with the brains that God blessed us with? He didn't just put our brains in place for a hat rack. He wanted us to use them. Another thing I thought was a little bit comical about the situation was that there was a preacher, I'm not going to say who it was, who said that he didn't appreciate the fact that Jamie Foxx said God blessed him with a stroke. He didn't feel like that was the proper terminology to put out there, because God doesn't bless people with strokes. And by comical, let me get this straight so nobody will misconstrue what I'm trying to say. By comical, I meant the way that the preacher said what he said. You had to have heard him say it to understand. But anyways, I agree with what he said, that God does not bless people with strokes. That's not how this works. And I understand, I am understanding. I'm not judging Jamie Foxx. I know that he still has some learning to do in that area, although people do need to understand what he said was not accurate, so to speak. I get that he's telling it the best way that he can from the best understanding he has, although God does not bless people with strokes. Just say, Jamie, you were hanging around some people who you couldn't trust. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time after allegedly maybe being involved in some situations you had no business in, and then that's what got you messed up. That's what I think it was, allegedly. But God didn't bless him with a stroke. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was taken advantage of by people who he thought he could trust. Although God can use that for his benefit if he wants to get his life together. A tragic thing happened, although this doesn't have to be the end of his story. Things can work out for his good, once again, if he wants to, and if he finally decides to give his life to God and live the right way and do things the way God wants him to do them. Once again, it's very important to get this understanding, to clear this up, because you don't want people to be led astray or confused about God, the nature of God, and what he does, due to this celebrity who has a very large platform, a lot of influence, saying things that are not quite right or quite accurate, so to speak. Anyways, so this special was actually 3 days worth of content, so to speak. It was 3 days of him doing stand-up, but they shortened it to a 90-minute special for Netflix. Now, there were some things that he said that was left out of that 90-minute Netflix special that was, well, I would say interesting, to say the least, and to say the most, something that probably could have gotten him sued, allegedly. And by something that could have gotten him sued, once again, he was basically making allegations, allegedly, against P. Devil Combs. Allegedly, there were people, Choke No Joke was one of those people, who said that he had went to multiple nights of the 3-night stand-up that he had, where he made multiple jokes. Now, I say jokes, but I'm putting those in quotation marks, about P. Devil Combs. Now, everybody wanted to say, oh, it was a joke, until it's not. Until there's proof that it was actually the truth. This is another reason why I keep questioning people who keep saying it's a joke. Or whenever these comedians say stuff, they want to label everything as a joke. But then we end up finding out years after the fact, sometimes months, weeks after the fact, that it wasn't, in fact, a joke, that it was actually the truth. Low-key, they were telling y'all. Or they just want to be those people, one of those people who, after the fact, said, oh, well, I low-key told y'all just didn't want to listen. For the clout of it all. So you'll go back to them whenever they do whatever they're doing to see what they're doing again. Once again, allegedly, according to Choke No Joke, who sat down with Comedy Hype, he basically made a comment along the lines of, oh, Jamie Foxx made a joke, again, putting those in air quotes, at the show that I went to see. They didn't include in the Netflix special, where he basically said a joke, something along the lines of, oh, Diddy tried to get me, but he failed, unlike what happened with Cough Cough, Tupac. Allegedly. Y'all know we have to say allegedly. So once again, all these people who find it so absolutely hard to believe that could be a possibility, once again, I'm questioning you as to why and how. Do some self-reflection. Have you put these celebrities on a pedestal that you should not have? And once again, y'all know I have to say if. Although if he did actually make that joke, I would certainly hope it wasn't to be funny and it was to actually drop hints. Because some comedians, they do jokes, but others, they drop hints in the form of jokes. Not so much as they're trying to make funny of the situation. They're trying to tell y'all what's going on. But they have to make it funny in order to, well, one, either not get sued or not get targeted. So once again, I would hope he is the second version of those comedians and not the first. One more thing I wanted to talk about concerning his special, if you will, one particular detail that I must point out. Now, there's a pastor by the name of Pastor Keenan Bridges who pointed this out. There was a lot of Christians who actually wanted to watch and listen to his Netflix special because they wanted to hear his testimony. They wanted to hear the details, what happened. They were concerned about him. They had been praying for him. But unfortunately, a lot of them were repulsed and didn't want to see it whenever they saw all of the vulgarity. They heard all the vulgarity, the curse words, the swear words he was using in the stand-up. And before anybody tries to call them judgmental, I'm not talking about these jellyback, no standard having Christians. I'm talking about the Christians who are actually saved and Holy Ghost filled for real. Wanted to see his stand-up, again, to see his testimony, but did not want to watch it because he was so vulgar. I could care less about him being a secular stand-up comedian. He could have cut out some of that stuff. He didn't have to do all of that to satisfy people. And if you are only satisfied by a bunch of curse words and vulgarity, the issue is you. You need help. Anyways, though, he was saying that a lot of them were just completely off-put by all of the vulgarity, that he did not appreciate it. He really wanted to watch it, but he just didn't appreciate that. And also, he felt like it was very blasphemous whenever he was telling this experience of him talking to God and God talking to him. God does not use curse words to talk to us. Newsflash. That is not how God speaks to us. Once again, that was through his understanding, his very ignorant understanding, because he don't know God like that. Although, for all of you who don't know, that is not how God speaks to us. A lot of people thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny at all. I thought it was very off-putting once again, and it wasn't right. And it's sad whenever Christians called this out. You had black people, I done told y'all before, so ready to cut other black people down when they call out the truth. Black people talking about, oh, y'all are just mad because he's not perfect coming out the gate with this. We don't want him to be perfect. We just want him to not be blasphemous and disrespectful where God is concerned. Once again, he has a large platform. This is Jamie Foxx we're talking about. A lot of people watch him. They listen to what he says. People are very surface level in that they will go with whatever a celebrity says. So if Jamie Foxx says that God was cursing him out, that's how some people are really going to believe God talks to people, which they should not. They should figure out God for themselves. They should have their own experience, learn about God for themselves. But that is how people, unfortunately, view the world. That's how they operate, which is why we keep saying that he really needs to correct himself, or it needs to be acknowledged that that is not how God operates. And it really grinds my gears, if you will, annoys me really, whenever people make it seem like Christians are being overly judgmental by pointing these things out. Two things, once again, can be true at the same time. What happened to him was tragic. It was messed up. He didn't deserve it. At the same time, when he came out of it, him telling his story was beautiful, although there are some parts where he said some things that was not right that we need to address. Black people got to get out of this really lackadaisical mentality, this really lazy mentality when it comes to doing what's right. It's what's right, point blank, period. If you don't like how it feels, it's your pride. It's your laziness. Your ego is now struck because you know you need to do better and you don't want to and you want to be comfortable in it, which is why you have a problem when people call these things out. But once again, I'm never going to be one of those people who thinks it is okay to be less than excellent, to be lackadaisical, to be lazy, to be shallow-minded in anything and everything that we do, especially where it pertains to God. Either we're going to get it right or we're going to get it right. Anyways, I just wanted to throw some thoughts out there. I just wanted to invoke some thoughts, if you will. Just, get some thinking going, stimulate some thinking in some people. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below. Respectfully, don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.